I'm William, and this is my testimony, spoken in my own voice and translated from Portuguese to English. I'm William Carlos, 45 years old, blessed with a loving wife, children, and a home filled with warmth, blessings I once thought unattainable. Sharing my story today is a profound privilege, a testimony I withheld for years, fearing the pride still lingering in my heart. I buried my past, revealing only fragments when pressed, but now in humility and gratitude, I share the full truth, hoping it reaches those lost in despair, as I once was, and points them to the love that transformed me. I grew up in a Catholic family with my father, now deceased, my living mother, and 2 sisters. They taught me the rituals of faith, Mass, First Communion, the Rosary, pouring their best into me. Yet my father's actions contradicted this faith. He used drugs openly, justified deceit with "a little lie doesn't hurt," and exposed me to sexual content far too young. Between 8 and 10, I witnessed his betrayal of my mother, a moment that shattered our family. A deep rage took root, setting the course for my rebellion and fueling a bitterness that would define my youth. By 15, I was entangled with gangs, using and selling drugs, and committing robberies. My life was a whirlwind of chaos, driven by anger and a need to numb the pain. When my mother and sister learned I faced imminent arrest, they decided to send me to my father's house, a mix of punishment and a desperate hope to preserve some family tie. But my hatred for him, fueled by his betrayal, burned too fiercely. I refused to go. Catholicism, once a cornerstone of my upbringing, felt hollow, its rituals unable to fill the growing void within me. In my emptiness, I sought meaning in every belief I could find. I explored Spiritism, both the white Kardec line and the black line of witchcraft. At seances, I faced terrifying rituals. A medium branded my chest 7 times with heated iron when I failed to bring cocaine as an offering, a punishment that left physical and emotional scars. I witnessed animal sacrifices, tasted the metallic tang of blood, and drank forbidden concoctions, all in a futile attempt to find peace. Each experience left me more broken, the void in my soul deepening. Desperate for answers, I turned to Hinduism, chasing the promise of Zen-like calm, and delved into tantric practices, believing sexual pleasure could heal my fractured soul. This led me to orgies, where I gained notoriety for my conquests. I destroyed families by shattering women's trust, particularly by taking their virginity, betrayed friends, and severed ties with my mother and sisters. Each relationship ended with me locking the door, seething with anger, whispering, "Go away before I kill you." Drugs, parties, and fleeting pleasures only deepened my despair, leaving me feeling more dead inside with every encounter. From 18 to 22, my life spiraled further into darkness. I lived on Angustia Street at the corner of Maraguria, sleeping 2 or 3 hours a night, lost in a haze of crack, cocaine, and hallucinogens. My only goal was numbness, a temporary escape from the pain. Yet I clung to a facade of status, designer clothes, expensive cars, false friendships, to mask my emptiness. Pride and resentment fueled my every action. I had no purpose, no hope. A mocking voice in my head urged me toward homosexuality as another extreme to feel something, anything terrifying me. I was a man who'd lost all sense of self, teetering on the edge of death, my soul suffocating under the weight of my choices. At 15, I'd once stumbled into an evangelical church, drunk and belligerent. I mocked the worshippers, set off firecrackers in the sanctuary, and even threw real bombs at church doors to torment them, taking pleasure in their distress. Yet, a song, Espirito, Espirito, stuck with me, haunting my mind despite my scorn. I couldn't shake its melody, a faint whisper of something greater that lingered even in my rebellion. At 22, after months of homelessness, my stepmother in Guyana, who used God's name to scam people, brought me into her schemes. My father and youngest sister were consumed by dark spirits. My stepmother claimed to guide them, but her motives were rooted in deceit. I joined their fraud, helping swindle 150,000 reais by posing as a senator in an elaborate scam. I thought relocating to a new city would offer a fresh start, a chance to leave my past behind. But I carried my darkness with me, and the cycle of drugs, women, and crime resumed. In one of my stepmother's meetings, amid chants and offerings, I felt an unexpected warmth on my chest, the touch of the Holy Spirit. Terrified and trembling, I called Edilson Alves, a Christian friend from my past who had once shared the gospel with me. He reminded me of a night at a clinic where I'd knelt to prove myself to my boss, feeling nothing. Edilson shared a vision of an angel guarding me on the streets, appearing as a little lady who'd shake her head and say, "God has a plan for your life," each time I stumbled home from parties. He insisted God was still pursuing me, refusing to let me go. On July 27th, 2003, I attended a retreat with the Vine Church, my mother church, which I honor to this day. From Friday evening through Saturday night, we worshipped and participated in ministry sessions. I felt unworthy, expecting judgment for my sins. But late Saturday, as leaders prayed over me, God's love overwhelmed me. I wept, convicted that my sins, drugs, violence, sexual abuse, lies, were forgiven. A new life began, a rebirth that filled the void I'd carried for so long. That night, I found my friend Bruno, tormented by dark spirits. I prayed until his oppression lifted, witnessing God's glory in a way that solidified my transformation. Returning home, my family was skeptical. No one grasped the change within me. Undeterred, I preached on the streets, sharing the love that had saved me. Using Orcut, I sought every woman I'd harmed, begging forgiveness. Many said, "You destroyed my life," their words piercing, but I persisted until some released me from past pain, freeing both them and myself. It took 6 years for my mother and sisters to believe I'd truly changed. When I returned to my childhood home, I washed my mother's feet in tears, my son Caio beside me, begging forgiveness for every wound I'd inflicted. That day, our family began to heal, a restoration only possible through God's grace. My mother, once heartbroken by my actions, saw the son she'd prayed for return, and my sisters began to trust again. Since then, nothing compares to the love that rescued me. I submitted to spiritual leadership, pursued pastoral training, and dedicated myself to planting churches and restoring families I'd once torn apart. My father passed 5 years ago, but before he died, he asked me to unite his children, a responsibility I embraced. I honored him, breaking a generational curse of bohemia, addiction, and fractured families. My grandfather and father had multiple families, leaving legacies of destruction. But God's love transformed me into a beloved son, and my siblings, older and younger, now share a legacy of love and reconciliation. Today, I am a son who cherishes his mother, a father who adores his children, including my son Caio, with whom I've restored our bond. As a pastor, I pour my life into broken hearts, especially children. Knowing early love could have spared me such pain. My younger sister, once lost to darkness, is now a pastor with a ministry for children, a calling that burns in my heart as well. I've seen God rebuild what I destroyed, but nothing surpasses the salvation He gave me. I once feared death, unsure of my fate, haunted by doubts about eternity. Now every decision stems from love, not fear or pride. To those trapped in addiction, shame, or despair, whether in drugs, prostitution, or endless parties, know this: nothing you chase will fill your void. Not status, not pleasure, not power. Only the person of Jesus can. This love isn't a fleeting feeling. It's a person reaching for you now, touching your heart as He did mine. Open your heart to Him. Let Him fill your emptiness. If not today, I believe in eternity we'll share this conversation again, heart to heart. Thankful you said yes to the love that makes us whole. Wherever you are, no matter how deep your darkness, this love can reach you, restore you, and make you a beloved child.